Hello, I'm JJ and welcome to my video comparison review between the Lenovo P2 and the Huawei Honor 6X. There will be little in the way of specs, no benchmarks and nothing fancy. These are two of the best mid-range handsets available here in the UK at the moment, and they can each be had for around the £200 mark. They are both dual SIM devices with similar specs, and each offer compelling but different reasons to buy them. The P2 has possibly the best battery life of any phone available at present, so it's a great choice for anyone who's away from a charger for a long time or somebody who regularly forgets to charge. The 6X has possibly the best performing camera setup on a new phone in this budget, so it's an ideal choice for anyone who takes lots of photos and is looking for a good balance between picture quality and price. The aim of this comparison is to convey my thoughts and findings, having owned and used both phones for a good amount of time now. There's no doubting the battery credentials of the Lenovo or the camera quality of the Honor, but which is the best all-rounder, and do either of them have any major disadvantages? Let's start with the build quality and overall feel. Despite the considerable difference in battery capacity, the phones are a similar size and thickness. The Lenovo is only 15 grams heavier and more angular in its design, but I find the chamfered edges offer better grip and a more premium feel than the 6X does. The rounded edges at the back of the Honor make it more comfortable in the hand, but at the sacrifice of grip. In daily use, I'm more confident using the Lenovo with one hand, whereas I do find the Honor more slippery. Buttons on the Lenovo have a more premium feel, and the single loudspeaker is far superior. It's a real standout here. In fact, the Honor speaker is quite a disappointment, and that to me is a deal breaker in itself. It's just about loud enough for ringtones, but it's very tinny and not great for music or videos, etc. Both of these phones benefit from the recent advancements in fingerprint sensor technology. Positioning is personal choice, of course. I prefer the sensor on the side or on the front, and I like that the home button on the Lenovo can be used to substitute for the on-screen navigation buttons. Honor's approach is to add some useful functionality to the rear fingerprint sensor. It can be used to pull down the notification area, scroll between images in the gallery app and take a photo, etc. Both fingerprint sensors are equally fast and equally accurate. They both worked 100% of the time for me. There's very little between them. Screen technology is different between these two. If you enjoy bright, clean, white tones, the LCD screen on the Honor will suit you. However, the colours seem washed out and the blacks aren't ultra dark. The screen does get nicely bright though. The Super AMOLED on the P2 does offer those punchy colours and deep blacks, and better viewing angles, but the whites are a little bit warmer, but not too bad. And in my opinion, this is a great AMOLED screen. I would like it to get a little bit brighter, but it does have an overdrive mode in auto, so it's okay for everything but the very brightish conditions. Each manufacturer has added their own interpretation of Android Marshmallow. Neither are loaded with too much bloatware, and both benefit from some quite useful tweaks. I'd say it's, generally speaking, pretty even here. Performance is also very similar in my experience, although the Honor does get a little bit warmer when pushed. Okay, let's compare the main two areas. It's a given that the Honor wins the camera battle and that the Lenovo wins the endurance challenge. Battery life is very important, but for me a phone only really needs to last long enough to cope with my average use until I can get to a charger, plus a bit extra just if I've forgotten to charge, for example. The Honor definitely manages that, so in my opinion it's good enough. Approximately 6 hours screen on time easily gives me a day and a half, sometimes two, of my average use, but that's it. The Lenovo on the other hand can easily go 3 or sometimes 4 days between charging for me. Not totally necessary, but very reassuring nonetheless. On the other hand, the cameras on the P2 are very unimpressive in every way apart from speed and focusing. There is an issue with photo representation using the stock viewer, but even using a different gallery app shows that the Lenovo photos are average at best, particularly those from the selfie cam. The rear camera can take some good shots, especially close-ups, but too many photos are mushy and lack dynamic range. This could be fixed in an update though in the future. The Honor camera setup is vastly superior in terms of end result, and there are some fun modes and useful ones, many of which are very effective. The selfie cam is also much better than the P2. The purpose of this video was for me to say which phone I believe to be the better all-round package. Both of these handsets share many attributes, and each has a standout feature. It's clear that if taking good photos is a priority to you, then you will be disappointed if you buy the Lenovo. And if battery life is a priority to you, you'll be really impressed with the Lenovo, but I still don't think you'll feel that let down with the Honor. There might be an issue with build quality with the 6X. It definitely feels less robust, and the recent jerry-rig video suggests that it's quite fragile as it failed the bend test catastrophically, and it seems the screen scratches relatively easily. Now that's a deal breaker for me, but if you're a careful person, it might not be an issue for you. Based on my usage, I have to say that I prefer the overall build quality and feel of the P2, which leads me to confidently recommend it as a great purchase, and in my opinion, the best budget handset available in the UK at present. You may be happier with either, but for me the P2 feels better, lasts longer, I prefer the screen, the speaker is much better, the position of the fingerprint sensor suits me, and aside from the issue with the camera, which may be fixable with an update, I think in general terms it's a superior phone in almost every way. The only compelling reason to buy the Honor is for the cameras. There seems to be a slight lip sync issue watching videos on the Lenovo at the moment, but I've not found it to be a major concern, and hopefully something that can be sorted with an update. Having said that, I'm really considering keeping the P2, as it's just a well-designed device with good performance. I love the screen and the battery life. Please don't be upset if you don't agree with me, this is just my opinion of course. Okay, that's the end of the video. If you found it useful, please like and subscribe and even comment, as that will encourage me to create more and hopefully improve in the quality as time goes on. Thank you for watching, and please join me for the next one.